Well, today is Thursday, April the 15th, and that's not Gib McCarron. That's Liz Sanders. Gib is out sick this week. He's recovering fine. He's working from home, still doing business, but a little bit under the weather and should be back in full throttle next week. But we thought, Gib and I talked as we went into this week, what a great opportunity in his absence to introduce you to one of our young team members, Liz Sanders. Elizabeth is the proper name, but she goes by Liz. Liz is a young advisor within HMC, and I can't tell you how proud Gib and I are that we have discovered 4 years ago Liz, who came to us from several other financial institutions here in the Triad, and began to work and has been involved in a lot of aspects of Greensboro, but also our office. And now is a young advisor working with our clients and bringing also new people with us. So Liz, welcome, and
thank you.
Tell the folks quickly a little bit about yourself, and then I want to go and tell them about a discussion we had this week with Phil Orlando.
Phil. So I'm Elizabeth Sanders. I go by Liz. I'm originally from Kernersville, North Carolina, so a native through and through. I went to App State for an English major, because that place...
I was an English major, but it was a communication. But you and I talk about some great literature that we
do
both...
love some good books.
Yes.
Good books. But I've got into finance about 8 years ago, worked with Morgan Stanley briefly and Wells Fargo Advisors more in the client service side of things, and wanted to develop my knowledge and went into more of the research, portfolio research and development side and retirement planning, so that I could finally make the true leap to be a financial advisor, because I really love working with clients and building those relationships.
She does a really good job. She is sitting for her CFP designation that we're excited about. She's involved in the community, taking HMC into community involvement. And she is successful in her own right. And we're excited about Liz being here. I was thinking about it this morning, Liz, as I was getting ready of what I wanted to say to introduce you to our great clients. This is not to say Gib and I are going anywhere. We don't have any plans to go anywhere for a good long while, but we are excited about having Liz being part of the team. You'll get to meet maybe next week E.J. O'Keefe. He will be the second young person that we want you to meet. But for right now, Liz is sitting in for Gib.
Stuck with me today.
Yeah, we're glad. All right, this week we had the great opportunity to sit again down with Phil Orlando. Phil went through an hour, and I have about a minute and a half left to tell you about what he said. In effect, he says this year is going to be really a strong year. Earnings are coming out, as you see this week, and they are hitting high levels. You're going to see earnings reports really beating the thresholds of year over year, and that's not going to be surprising, because last year at this point in time, we were in the middle of the pandemic recession, but the earnings have now bounced back. We should be at about 75%, Phil says, of herd immunity. Those being able to get shots should have gotten double shots, and the shots that they should have by May or June. And you're going to see an opening up of the economies in restaurants and bars and events and travel, and the economy is really going to catch on in momentum. You're also going to see stimulus hitting the economy. It takes somewhere between 12 to 18 months from the time that the stimulus is first introduced to it fully getting into the system. So that carries us through this year into next year with opportunities of a lot of money to be implemented into the economies. We have infrastructure opportunities. We have consumer spending opportunities. We have travel opportunities. There are a lot of positive opportunities. So Phil believes that this year's GDP is going to be in excess of 6%. 6.8, and he told us that will be the highest in over a 40-year period of time. However, he did say there is a warning that he's watching, and he cautioned us, and we listen carefully, and this summertime is going to be key. And what is that warning, Liz?
Well, obviously, with all of that stimulus going in, that influx of cash in the economy is risking inflation. So that's an area that we have to keep an eye on, see, how bad that can get, and if it sticks, as well as shortages. Housing shortages are massive right now. He made a comment about having more registered real estate agents in the U.S. than houses available. So that's crazy kind of for me to think about. As I was shopping for houses, I can attest to the shortage and limited number of options out there, and what that is going to cause on housing prices to continue to increase with so many people bidding on those. And then randomly ketchup. Apparently there's a shortage in ketchup, so people are able to use old condiment packages that they have on hand and sell online, which is kind of fun to think about. But, the different opportunities that this pandemic has presented is fun, but it's a real reality that there are shortages there. And then taxation, whether it's capital gains being increased or
estate planning.
planning.
Whether estate taxes or whether it's higher income taxes or corporate taxes, those are all issues. And thank you, Liz. And then from that perspective, he says that's what we got to watch this summer. The Fed has to have a soft landing on the inflation, not get behind the curve. We got to understand about shortages, and we also have to work with taxation and the change of that. So all of that is on our forefront. All of that we're looking at, but we're expecting the market to be up. We're fully confident in how we're investing. If you have any questions, please give us a call. Again, it's our great pleasure to have Liz as a great member of our team. Gib will be back with us next week, but as you go through this week, always remember it is your money.
And your money matters.
See you next week.